Little brother, y'all got a distinct sound, man. Y'all in the dirty south, man. How y'all get love down here, man? Everybody on that bounce, that crump and all that. Y'all on a whole nother level, man.
Little Brother, featuring rappers Big Pooh, Fonte, and producer Ninth Wonder. Sadly for hip-hop fans, underground and mainstream, the group Little Brother became just the next iteration of rap groups that broke up far too soon. Say what you will about this group, but if it's one thing they had, was that they were different. Difference is always a positive in the journey of becoming successful, and even though they were following Big Brother, so to speak, behind groups like Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, and Slum Village, to name a few, they had the potential to create their own unique lane in a time hip-hop needed a breath of fresh air from gangsta rap, snap music, and the race for #1 hits. Little Brother had a vision for their music careers, and to their credit, they never wavered from it, some say to a fault. With music being an avenue highly saturated and competitive, certain things a rapper or rap group will have to do along the journey of trying to stand out that can give them that new lifeline into what's next for them. These decisions are graded by the year. Just as you can blow up overnight for making the right one, you can fade to black and quote fall off just as fast not playing the game set before you. Some rappers or groups have to give up a little more in order for their labels and the industry to push them into the necessary light their music can shine in, and some can last and ascend off sheer undeniable talent and star charisma. Either way, what you do and how you play the game within itself determines how popular you end up becoming. For Little Brother, what worked and didn't work for them was that they didn't come into the game with the same expectations for themselves like most. For them, initially, it was let's see if we can create the best body of work that we could sit down, listen to, and enjoy. If so-and-so doesn't appreciate it, well, oh well. An admirable attitude, one that's praised most in underground hip-hop circles. Not conforming to the powers that be. But at the same time, you have to remember that you place a ceiling on your potential when that's the attitude. With that ceiling, everything has to go right from then on, because you've already established the fact that you don't want the industry's creative help, you don't want to be told how to market your product, and you want full control of how it's presented. With that, you create an island you can end up all alone. It's a risk Lil Brother took, and it won them underground fans forever that see their music as timeless, and some even have them as their favorite artists of all time. But it cost them their potential and longevity on the mainstream stage, where in time could cause them to go forgotten. Why didn't Little Brother blow up mainstream and become big in the game? Here are 3 reasons. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man.
Y'all ready to keep this thing moving?
Little Brother was a hip-hop group originating in Durham, North Carolina that met one another in 1998 while attending the same university. They were a part of a local collective called The Organization until around 2000 when the outfit dissolved, leading to joining another crew called the Justice League. Through those times, Fonte, Pooh, and Ninth would work together under the umbrella of Just Us and discovered the trio had an interesting chemistry they wanted to explore further. In 2001, they broke off and formed Little Brother. The name being a tip of the hat to the pure hip-hop groups that came before them, following their footsteps to advance the essence of rap and hip-hop forward. They signed with ABB Records out of Oakland in 2002 and released their debut album a year later called The Listening. It was supposed to be their version of a radio show, the next one a TV show, and the third album a movie. This was the vision and concepts Little Brother wanted their career to follow, showing their unique creativity. Stunt number 1, not playing the game. The first reason, in my opinion, Little Brother didn't transcend the underground and become big-name stars in music was because, unlike other artists, they were totally against giving the industry control of their art. We touched on it earlier that while that sounds cool to the hip-hop listener only concerned with the quality and message of the music, it didn't help them widen their market and create outside new fans that do care about what's hot on the radio. It's a misconception that becomes the detriment to many artists, specifically rappers. Yes, rap is supposed to be received in its purest form. That's true to the pioneers of the game, but at the end of the day, it's still called the music business, the music industry. No industry or business in the world is comfortable with not growing past where they were last quarter. When you don't want to play the game, so to speak, and allow the industry to work for your art, it can cause you to fall behind artists that are willing to give up a little creative control. Now, I'm not saying this is what everyone should do, because the industry and its execs make mistakes too. They can also make a move on your behalf that at the end of the day can cause an artist not to be received in the best light and lead to his or her demise as an artist. For example, Little Brother, after moving from ABB and signing to Atlantic, produced their sophomore album The Minstrel Show, and the label wanted Say It Again as the lead single. Little Brother stood on Lovin' It being the single, and that was the right choice. Lovin' It became a classic and timeless hip-hop record with a flawless instrumental by Ninth Wonder. By that time, Ninth had already had success on his own, along with Phonte with Foreign Exchange, creating more an attitude of not wanting to conform. More times than not though, playing industry games can propel you into popular, and because Little Brother were so adamant in doing it their way, they weren't pushed by Atlantic as much because the label just didn't know what to do with their off-the-wall ideas, leading to middle-of-the-road sales and their popularity to reach a quick ceiling. Stunt number 2, no star power. Every popular rap group you can mention probably has that one guy that has undeniable star potential. Like there's just something about them that can be marketed to the masses and pull the group along with. Tribe Called Quest, you knew Phife was the more skilled rapper, but Q-Tip was the personality, more well-rounded star. Mobb Deep had Prodigy, Dipset had Cam, Run DMC had Rev, Wu-Tang had a plethora of guys, so did NWA, Outkast had Andre, etc. One or more stars, the more, the easier. I think Little Brother suffered from not having a star among the rappers of the group that stood out for having the best bars, or ladies loved them, or extremely charismatic and brought more fans in. They didn't have that shiny it that sends a group platinum. Little Brother never even went gold. Granted, they weren't in it for those reasons, but who doesn't want to go gold or better? Who doesn't want Grammys and recognition for a job well done? They didn't sell enough to blow up in rap or stake their claim as owning a moment in hip-hop. They were just nice rappers with a great producer. That wasn't enough to cross them over. Stunt number 3, the breakup. Like the potential all groups have, Little Brother's final growth stunt was that they couldn't work together long enough to finally break through or to at least feed their underground market with great music together up until now. After their first album, Ninth Wonder branched out and began doing records for big names like Jay-Z and Destiny's Child, and considered one of the best hip-hop producers in the game. Phonte also moved on and had solo success outside Little Brother, so individually they began to feel they didn't need to work together any longer. That came with egos getting in the way, which forced a reunion album with Ninth Wonder not to happen, since Ninth Wonder wanted to produce all the tracks while Pooh and Phonte wanted other producers included. They've been doing it this way since Ninth left the group after the Minstrel Show, so wanted to continue working outside of one producer. Pooh and Phonte also had their disagreements, and the group disbanded long enough to miss their window of becoming big artists together. All in all, Little Brother's story is typical, ironically. Working together is only consistent when each member still needs something from the other. Once success outside each other is had, most times going solo will make the most sense to the individual. It's just a lot easier to have your own pie than split it down the middle when you don't have to. They didn't conform, naturally weren't stars, and began focusing on self more than the group. They still have underground legend, but for these reasons, Little Brother never became big in the industry. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC StuntedGrowthMusic, and I'm out.